As option sellers, we love to use the delta Greek to really judge the probability of us getting assigned on our options contract. However, a lot of people miss a key factor about the delta, which I want to help you out with today. Yo, what's going on, Premium Chasers? I hope you are having an absolutely God-blessed day. Today, every single person is going to get a very, very special The Greeks for Option Sellers Explained in Plain English ebook. Drop a comment down below, and I will personally send you that. No strings attached whatsoever. And while you're down there, hit that like button and that subscribe button. It really helps grow this channel more than you know. But guys, today we're going to be talking about the delta and diving a little bit more into this because I think the delta, even though it's a fantastic Greek, does not paint the entire picture that you need to make when you are opening up your contracts. Okay, so let's go over the shoulder. I'm going to share with you guys some of some stocks and some examples on the options chain to really see this, and especially when you're comparing different kinds of companies and the contracts that you're potentially going to be opening. So let's go take, like, for example, one of my favorites that I run the weekly wheel strategy on is SoFi, right? So if I go over to the SoFi options chain, I'm just using Robinhood as our example today, as our example brokerage, and I go to just sell a put here, and we'll do our normal 30 days out to expiration here. Right now, obviously, when people come here, they you're basic, most people watching this content, you come in here, you start opening up some contracts, you start looking at the delta, you're probably looking at stuff in the 20 to 30 range. If you're really like nervous and you're just getting into it, you're probably looking at something in the a 10, 11 delta. And that's all well and good. But with that said, let's open up this, let's find a 20, around a 20-ish delta is usually where I like to be. A 20, 25, that's fine. So we got a 25 delta here, okay? So with that said, 25% chance of us getting assigned. That means that, hey, you know what? On January 2nd at close, we have about a 25% chance of getting assigned, meaning that we would have to buy 100 shares, in this specific educational example, 100 shares of SoFi for $2,600. Now, just looking at the math here, let's go take a look what our bid ask, fairly tight. We'll just say 85 right at the bid. We'll have $85 of premium collected. We are locking up $2,600 because we are smart option sellers. We are options traders. Everything is covered, cash covered, stock covered, right? And we are getting a 3.27 return on our collateral. Okay, now is that good? Is that bad? You got to make your own decisions. Obviously, if you're a level-headed individual and you didn't just spawn off Reddit, yeah, this is a fantastic return, right? But with that said, this comes with some very big risks, and we're going to show you a couple other stocks. So let me leave this one up here. We'll leave SoFi right there. And I'll copy and paste that in here to show you guys some other examples of what you're going to see out there, okay? And then how to make a good decision for yourself, right? So if you don't know how I'm calculating this, basically it's 85 divided by the $2,600 that I'd be locking up for around that, 30-day period at the time of recording this. Obviously, results vary, not financial advice, guys. These are just the premiums I'm seeing at the time of me recording this video. And obviously, the more contracts you open, the more premium you collect. Takes money to make money. Don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. But if you want these calculators on all this stuff, guys, head over to the Ark Options workshop. That's an hour-and-a-half long training. You definitely want to watch that, and you get all my free calculators and trade logs completely for free at the end of that. But with that said, taking a look at SoFi, even today, it is down a little bit. So the premiums are slightly a little bit better as opposed to trying to sell puts on it at 31. You have to factor all of those things into it, right? The way I like to usually, scan, right, my watch list is I'm usually looking for oversold transactions for the day, and then I get into the technical analysis of it, and then I go to the options chain. But more on that on the Ark Options workshop if you're interested in that. But with that said, let's go take a look at another popular one, right? And that is MSTR, right? A lot of people love MSTR because, oh my goodness, that is some juicy premium. And the sad reality is the people that are selling options on MSTR, y'all got money. Y'all got some serious dough on you, right? But you get premium blinded. You get your premium blindness, right? And the unfortunate reality is, look at this, guys. Even if I'm just looking over the past year. Where do you think all these individuals are that sold puts at like 400, right? When it was at all-time highs, 450, right? MSTR to the moon. We're buying Bitcoin, right? And it's at 450. They're selling puts at, like, let's say 400. Oh my gosh, it hit 400 a couple weeks later, a month later. Next thing you know, 370. They can't even do their cover calls, and it keeps dropping. keeps dropping, keeps dropping. Your entire portfolio has not now been blown, right? Right? Listen. Let me show you. Actually, don't even listen. Let me show you, right? Well, let's go to the MSTR options chain, right? And this is how I judge risk. Number one, you always look at the fundamentals of the company, right? Not somebody on X or YouTube telling you what to invest in. That is insanity, and you're setting yourself up for failure, right? So if you were truly buying at 450, you should be selling your house and buying it at 186. Right? You should be. That's how high conviction I am with like an Arista, right? Maybe I won't sell my house, but like I will ride it down when I can, right? But with that said, let's go take a look at this. So at the time we're recording this, this is trading at a 186. Now let's go find a 25 delta in this. Now obviously the premiums will be a lot better because it's fairly oversold right now. But let's go find a 25 delta. Perfect. 25 delta right here. Again, 25% chance that we'll actually have to buy our shares at 165 in 30 days from now. Now let's take a look at the premium. A bid ask 670 to 740. Let's just say 700 even we would collect on this. So let's put $700 of premium collected, right? And we would have to lock up, right? Because we are still smart. $16,500 of collateral here. A 4.24% return on our collateral. That's the premium divided by the collateral. Obviously, this will look completely different when you do this trade on your side. Absolutely insane, right? Absolutely insane to make a 4% return. That is what you'd yearly get under that with like a high yield savings account in a single month's time. That's interesting. Let's copy and paste this again, right? That's very interesting, right? So let's go over and look at some boring stuff, okay? Stuff that I like to sell options on, right? And compare it to you. Let's go to a Pepsi. All right, Pepsi is actually one of my favorite. And let's go actually look at the technicals real quick to see where we're at with Pepsi. We are a little bit red here today, but not much. I know we're not that oversold. We can't be that oversold on this setup here. We're right at that middle. We're right in that middle Bollinger Band, right around our 300-day moving average of 147. Okay, perfect. Not a fantastic setup, but decent. All right, so let's go take a look at Pepsi here, right? So let's say we wanted to sell a put option on Pepsi here, and we'll go again, same expiration date. We're going to go out our 29 days here, and we're currently at the time we're recording this, we're trading at 147, and let's go look for something that is about a 25 delta, right? That's what I want to find. I want to see roughly a 25 delta. Let's keep going. That's 27, 24. All right, which one? I would probably go with the 27 because of this one, but this is like under 25, so I don't want to do that. But let's go with the 143s, okay? 143s around a 27 delta, okay? It's not going to make that much of a massive difference. And we could see the bid and ask fairly, I would probably go around like 165 for this, somewhere in the middle to be able to get filled on this. So I'd do like a 165 put on this. So I would do or 165 premium on this, and I am locking up, right, a decent amount of capital. I'm locking up $14,300 on this specific trade. So let me put 14,300 right there, and you could see my return on collateral here is a 1.15%. Not that great. In my personal opinion, may be great for you. Which trade do we do? Well, number one, you got to go figure out that for yourself, right? If you're a degenerate, you're probably going to go with this because you have your premium blinders on. But there's a question I have to ask you, right? When I'm looking at delta, I'm looking at delta primarily as a probability of assignment, but oftentimes your delta does not tell you the true story until you map out the trade for yourself. In my personal opinion, the better indicator than a delta, even though I like to use it, is going to be your return on your collateral. That's going to tell you the risk that you're actually taking on, not the delta, right? The risk you're taking on is how much you're getting paid, is that cash flow, that income, that juicy money that you're getting up front from the options buyer. That's your risk. That's your probability of assignment. When I look at a 3.27, 4.24%, your probability of assignment is very high. I would say anything over like 2.5% return on your money, that is getting very high. So what's the ideal situation here? Well, number one, we want to be on good quality, fundamentally strong companies. In my personal opinion, I do love SoFi, right? But it's still got a ways to go. It's, for me, very small piece of my portfolio do I trade with SoFi, and it's because I like to have fun with this stuff too, right? I like to, and I don't mind if I get stuck holding SoFi. But the fundamentals still got to catch up to the company, in my personal opinion, right? It's a great company. I love their business model, love their sales funnels, love their marketing. As a marketing guy myself, I absolutely love it. But when you look at fundamentals, who's the gorilla in the room here? Who is the most fundamentally strong company here? Yeah, it's Pepsi, guys. Yes, it's Pepsi. They have hundreds of brands under their umbrella. It's a strong dividend paying stock. So even if I get a sign, I'm collecting a dividend, I'm collecting covered call premiums along the way. And I can actually be more aggressive. That means I can actually not have to worry about, if I get assigned, because most of you are so worried about not getting assigned. I get it. Nobody wants to get assigned, but some of you are so scared of getting assigned. Like you're shaking in your boots. And if you're like that, you shouldn't be in the damn contract. Like you shouldn't be in the contract, right? It sounds such common sense, but guys, I've realized that's kind of like starting to really become an educator in this space. Our community is growing. You guys are all freaking so cool. I genuinely love doing this stuff. I'm so passionate about this topic. I love talking about it. But what I have found is people just set themselves up for failure when we're in control. We're setting the terms and we're setting our own risk, right? Whether we're doing covered calls or cash secured puts, we can set those things. We don't have to be a degenerate options buyer where they have to have something happen. For us, we can just go out there and be like, yo, we want to buy Pepsi because we love the fundamentals of the company. We love the technicals of the company right at the time we're doing this contract. Sets up beautifully. Hits our ROI on collateral goal. Boom. We set the terms. We don't have to stress out about it, right? When the options buyers, the day traders, they're all the degenerates that we're able to scoop up all their poker chips. So with like a Pepsi play like this, and this is what I do, guys. When I'm looking at a position, let's say I have like $20,000 or $30,000. Let's say $20,000 I have right now. I'm gonna go look at my core watch list. I'm gonna go see, okay, where am I at? What are my setups that I have today that I'm trying to deploy some capital on? Okay, and then I jump into it, right? And I start doing literally what I'm showing you on your screen right now. I start mapping out those. I don't rush into anything. I don't need to time the market. That is no. Patience. How many times I say it on this channel? Patience and discipline. Those are the things that we do here on this channel. Patience and discipline. We don't time. We don't rush. We don't feel like we need to trade. Guys, a lot of you guys inside OSS, you already know this. I don't trade most of the time. I don't do anything, right? Yeah, I'm involved in it. I'm looking at stuff. I'm always in, but I'm not rushing. I don't need to. Listen, if I'm taking on risks, you're going to pay me, right? And you're going to pay me for it, right? If you want me to lock up my money to maybe buy your stock or maybe sell my stock, you're going to pay me for it, right? And I'm dictating those terms, right? So with that said, with the Pepsi, right, I can be more aggressive with this. Now, of course, in a real life situation, if I was actually going to invest in Pepsi, I would personally wait a little bit longer for a slight bigger pullback, right? For example, earlier in November, this was a much better time. And even before that, in earlier October, this was a much better setup. Imagine, right, if you did your puts right around this level, well, boom, shoots up top Bollinger Band, right? Blew right through its 200-day moving average, right? Saw some resistance at its 300-day moving average for a couple days and then blew past that. Look at that. Within a matter of days, you're able to close out a cash secured put, right? And this is why it's important to build your watch list over time, right? Not filled with crap, but filled with good quality companies that when you see setups like this, boom, you can deploy it, right? So with that said, though, let's say I genuinely want to buy some shares of Pepsi, right? And I was like, I want to buy 100 shares. So in this specific setup, I would be more aggressive. I want a good mixture of actually maybe getting assigned, but also being rewarded financially for taking my risk. A 1% return on my money in this situation isn't necessarily something I think is rewarding enough for locking up $14,000. Now, spread over a year, that's a fantastic return. Of course it is, right? But obviously, you're not always going to hit your monthly return goals. But with that said, now is where I get to start now seeing, okay, let me see if I can be a little bit more aggressive. Okay, maybe the 145s. I'm collecting let's just say 240 on this. Let's say we're collecting $240 on this position. We're at $240, right? I always like to look at that premium as like getting like some free shares essentially out of this with that. But I'm locking up just slightly, a little bit more, right? What do we say? 14,000. We're just locking up $200 more. So 14,000. We're locking up 14,000. 500 in collateral, which gives us a little bit of a better return, but I can at least start, trying my best to get as much of a annualized return as I can. And that's where I can be aggressive. Now, if I do want to quickly talk about this, when I'm really actually wanting to be assigned a stock, right? Like I actually like it at the price it's currently at, I will switch to like a weekly if I can, right? Like, so in this space, I would go like 8 days out, right? And then I'd be playing real close to the money money here, right? So I would be like, look, 147s, I'm collecting $200 on, but if I like it at that price anyway, and actually trying to push assignment, like right now, obviously this is one day out when I'm shooting this, you could do it, right? You could do it and you collect an extra, about $100 of premium if you actually want to buy 100 shares at 147 tomorrow at the close. Okay, guys. And if you guys, like I said, if you want all of my calculators here completely for free, no strings attached, attend the Ark Options Strategy workshop down below. I literally live in these things every single day. Plus, you're going to get about 90 minutes of incredible training on taking the wheel strategy to the next level, guys. Remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.